Welcome back, Straight Talkers. If you have school-age children and are doing remote learning, starting off the school year has likely been chaotic. You and your child are at risk of things becoming even more hectic over time if you don't have a plan in place. I'm going to talk about 6 tips that you can start using today to make the process of remote learning easier for everyone in the home. Doing in-person learning, remote learning, or a combination of both has been the main debate this summer and fall for schools across the country. The typical back-to-school questions of, who's my child's teacher, what supplies do they need, and where's their locker located, totally took a back seat for many families that I've been working with. Instead, parents have been taking on much more responsibility for their child's learning than ever before. In addition to juggling work demands, they've been stressing out about how to get their kids to sit in front of the computer all day and are stuck having never-ending homework battles. So let's dive into some helpful tips that you can use to make this process easier. Tip number 1 is to let teachers teach. The main role of parents during these times is to not become the primary teachers of your child. It's to provide support and structure so that your child is set up for academic success. Tip number 2 is to support your child, and there are a couple ways that we can do this. One simple way is to be in frequent communication with teachers. Collaborating and approaching the school year as a team is important because challenges will pop up and issues will be resolved quicker if there's an open line of communication between parents, teachers, and students. This is especially true for those who typically receive additional academic services in the traditional school setting, such as an IEP or 504 plan. For younger children, you might want to ask how much the teacher expects you to be looking over and correcting your child's work and seeing which assignments should be prioritized. Based on the age of your child, they might also benefit from you being present with them during times of learning. Younger children in particular will need parents or other caregivers to be in the room with them to help keep them on task and involved in their work. You could consider giving one-word cues to help redirect them and get them back on track when getting distracted. Or you can give them praise to keep going despite feeling frustrated, and this can be very motivational and rewarding. Remember, praise should be detailed and not just a generic good job. Be specific and try to tell them what behaviors or actions in particular you're proud of. Tip number 3 includes making sure structure within the home is in place. I cannot stress enough the importance of providing a workspace within the home that your child can go to day after day for learning. Children thrive off of routine and structure. So by giving them a predictable space to go to each day, they could focus on their learning rather than trying to remember all the supplies they'll need to set up a brand new workspace each day. Outside of the electronics that are needed for school-related activities, other devices should be completely removed from the workspace. Your child will be able to stay more focused if they don't have the temptation of other more fun activities within view. We want to try to reduce distractions so that they can stay on task longer. We don't want them to be tempted by notifications from Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. It's preferable that the space you choose for them to work in is quiet. It could be a separate room in your house or designated portion of a shared space. If you are concerned about not being able to provide a quiet workspace, noise-canceling headphones could be considered. Also, the workspace should have important information displayed to your child. This likely includes a sheet of paper with all the different passwords that are required for their remote learning platforms. Younger children in particular have difficulties keeping information and supplies organized. So in addition to setting up a workspace, it'll be important to have designated spots for school supplies, such as writing utensils, paper, homework bins, and books. Lastly, having a schedule and trying to recreate a routine similar to what would be expected at school can also help with the flow of the workday. Little kids benefit from visual schedules that outline the activities of their day, while older kids often benefit from using calendars, planners, or digital organizers. Waking up at the same time each morning, getting dressed and out of pajamas, and eating breakfast before going to the designated learning space is encouraged. Tip number 4 is to make sure to include regular breaks into the schedule. Each day, your child should have opportunities to be both physically and socially active. These activities are often overlooked and can be just as important as academic work. When it comes to physical activity, finding substitute activities such as family walks or dance parties could help take the place of PE class. Your child might also find that they learn best with kinesthetic activities, so letting them stand at the table while learning, walking around the room while talking through what they've learned already through the day, or doing jumping jacks while answering basic questions might restore energy levels and increase their ability to focus. Traditionally, socialization usually occurred naturally throughout the school day. However, children haven't had as many opportunities to talk with friends given social distancing recommendations. As parents, we can help our children maintain social relationships by setting up opportunities for them to talk with peers. One of my favorite ideas is doing virtual lunches on school days. Another option is after-school phone calls to make sure that kids continue to stay connected with their friends. Tip number 5 is to separate school time from family time. With children learning at home, the line between home and school can easily be blurred. As adults, we all know how stressful it feels when we have to bring our work home with us. Creating a distinction between school time and family time can help reduce this type of stress for your child. Some parents have worked with their children on setting up certain times throughout the day where school issues can be discussed. Outside of these times, that topic is off limits. This can help prevent recurring arguments and conflicts within the home. Another idea is when you notice your child taking small steps to do something that you know is difficult for them, consider rewarding them with a family fun activity such as ice cream or a movie at the end of the day. Tip number 6 is to keep going when you feel like quitting. At some point in the process, you, your child, or your child's teacher will likely become frustrated and want to give up and quit. Heck, this might have happened already on multiple occasions. Change is uncomfortable, and learning new routines can be discouraging. When these occasions occur, remember that you are not alone. This experience is new for everyone, and everyone is doing the best that they can in the moment. If you can demonstrate to your child that you will keep pushing when times are hard, you are empowering them to keep going and communicating to take charge when times are difficult.